let's introduce Chinasia Ibonye. Chinasia Ibonye is in the studio. He'll be giving us his own take on what has been going down in the USA. Chinasia, thanks for coming on the show.
Good morning, Ty. Good morning.
Right.
Always a pleasure.
Right. I know you have a lot to say about this because I know you've been following, and our club that you support actually,
they didn't
go
come out.
after something.
They didn't come out.
But let's go and listen to President Donald Trump, how he exactly riled up the sporting community in the USA.
Luther and I, and everyone in this arena tonight, are unified by the same great American values. We're proud of our country. We respect our flag. Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Yes, so that's it. President Donald Trump suggesting that NFL owners should fire protesting players, especially those that do it during the rendition of the USA national anthem. And Chinasia, I was saying earlier, I mean, the reaction has been incredible. I mean, from all across the NFL, all the teams that played yesterday, it was a show of defiance to the president.
It's funny because a lot of times they tell athletes, to stick to sports and not get into politics and everything. And now the president was going into get into politics, being very divisive, using very derogatory language, for a certain player. We know who he was talking about. He was talking about Colin Kaepernick, because that young man, the former San Francisco 49ers quarterback, he was the one that started it, and he even started it during the Obama administration. That's the funny thing.
Right.
And it was because of in protest to the treatment of black people.
And police brutality.
Yes, and that was why he started by sitting down during the national anthem, and later he too started taking a knee. So, and before you knew, he's getting what he wanted. He said he just wanted to start a conversation and let people be aware. And before you knew, a lot of people started doing this all across sports, and now Trump comes out to say this. And, not just this, he makes a lot of other statements. And it's now, the defiance is now heavy. Because you could see the game was played in London yesterday, the first NFL game in London, and almost the entire team for the Baltimore Ravens and the Jacksonville Jaguars, they all went down on their knees. The ones that didn't go down on their knees, they linked arms together. The owner of Jacksonville Jaguars, Shahid Khan, he joined in. He was on the pitch.
Solidarity.
Some teams, like my own team, Pittsburgh Steelers,
what did
they decided not to come out at all for the national anthem. The players, some of the coaches were out there, but the players remained in the dugout for the national anthem.
Participate.
They didn't participate because they just didn't want to.
But the president quickly responded to this and said, okay, well, if you're putting shoulders, putting hands on your shoulder, that's not a big deal. Just don't do the other stuff.
It's funny because I was following this whole thing on Twitter, and somebody took his time to put out the code of conduct on how the flag can be disrespected. And there was never, because the conversation is about disrespecting the American flag.
Right.
And kneeling was never part of it. Funny enough, the things that were in the code, that are in the code are, you shouldn't use the American flag for athletic outfits. You shouldn't use it for, for commercial purposes. Different things that everybody does, like the Americans do normally. So it's very funny, what's happening in the NFL. But the most amazing thing for me, after this whole thing, it has never happened in the MLB, in Major League Baseball, since it's been in the NFL, sometimes in the NBA.
Right.
But for the first time,
someone took a knee.
An MLB player, a baseball player, actually took a white player. He actually took a knee, because of
son of a vet.
Yes.
Son of a vet, right?
Yeah, he took a knee. So he's the first MLB player to take a knee and join in this protest.
And you think this is going to spread?
It will definitely continue.
Wow.
I'm just scared that it doesn't get to a point where people of color decide to, pull out of the league and maybe start something on their own, because, and so it's double standards in a way, because you're talking about Colin Kaepernick, who triggered this thing.
Right.
And since he triggered it,
he's out of job.
He opted out of his contract in San Francisco because he didn't like the way he was being treated. But this man is a top-tier quarterback. You might not call him elite, but he's a quarterback that's gone to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's a top-tier quarterback, and I know at least I can call off the top of my head 10 quarterbacks currently playing in the league that he is way better than. And we have 32 owners in the NFL. 32 owners all-white owner. Okay, not all-white, but we don't have any black owner. And he's been blackballed. He has not been given, he cannot get a job in the NFL. So, come on. And now a lot of these owners are coming out to, make statements saying that the president's speech was being divisive. They won't. But at the end of the day, none of you have decided to give this guy a job and say, because we all know that Colin Kaepernick is a fantastic football player. He's a great quarterback, and he's better than at least one-third of quarterbacks in the league. And why doesn't he have a job? Some teams actually went to get a quarterback that had retired. Jay Cutler hadn't gone to the NFL, to the playoff for a long time. He retired. A team got him back, instead of getting Colin Kaepernick.
Wow,
so
interesting.
It's very sensitive and delicate.
And Yemi, he's not backing down.
It's not.
President Donald Trump is reacted to all those protests.
Yeah, let's also listen to him and what he thinks should be done when players refuse to do what he has suggested be done. Is now saying, club owners, you have to act.
I think it's very disrespectful to our flag and to our country. So I certainly think the owners should do something about it. There was great solidarity. I watched a little bit. I was not watching the games today, believe me, I'm doing other things. But I watched a little bit, and I will say that there was tremendous solidarity for our flag and for our country.
Your friend, Robert Kraft, said he was disappointed by what you said on Friday.
Well, that's okay. Look, he's got to take he has to take his ideas and go with what he wants. I think it's very disrespectful to our country. I think it's very, very disrespectful to our flag. I like Bob very much. He's my friend, but he gave me a Super Bowl ring a month ago, right? So he's a good friend of mine, but and I want him to do what he wants to do, but we have a great country. We have great people representing our country, especially our soldiers, our first responders, and they should be treated with respect. And when you get on your knee and you don't respect the American flag or the anthem, that's not being treated with respect.
Are you claiming racial tantrums, sir?
No, this has nothing to do with race. I've never said anything about race. This has nothing to do with race or anything else. This has to do with respect for our country and respect for our flag.
Yeah, to some people, the worst nightmare just happened. But let's get back to this. Fans have been divided. Some say the players are disrespecting the American flag. Some say, look, guys, continue. We support you. And this back and forth.
The thing is, it never used to be like this in the NFL. The anthem wasn't part of pre-game preparations in the NFL. Do you understand? The flag and everything, it never used to be, they started doing it for commercial purposes, to get fans more patriotic, more invested and everything. So, and if this is going to be a problem, then I think the NFL should take a stand. It might be divisive and people are now getting, because at the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick had a right. You talk about soldiers and the rest and what they were. These soldiers gave their lives and everything for you to be able to, exercise your rights in the country, and which is what he's doing. So, at the end of the day, I think maybe when the NFL decides to, let's not forget about the national anthem, and then because it's a sport at the end of the day, it's not something that used to be. It wasn't the norm before. It started a while ago, but it wasn't the norm when football started in America. So maybe then, because you could see it was very divisive. Some fans were actually booing the guys that were kneeling, and some fans were cheering them. So.
Yeah, we don't want that in the sport. That's not. Sports is all about bringing people together. President Trump not only took on the NFL over the weekend, he also took on the NBA as well. So I'm talking about specifically superstar Steph Curry, because the president basically confirmed and revoked his whiteout pass. So the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry won't be visiting the White House to actually go and celebrate their title triumph. Let's listen to reactions now from Steph Curry as well as Coach Steve Kerr.
I don't know, why he feels the need to target certain individuals, rather than others. I have an idea of why, but it's kind of it's just kind of beneath, I think, a leader of a country to go that route. It's not what leaders do. So, like I said, we have amazing people in this league that have spoken up on both sides of the conversation. The amount of support and encouragement I saw this morning around the league was unbelievable.
We would, in normal times, very easily be able to set aside political differences and go visit and have a great time, and that'd be awesome. But these are not ordinary times. Probably the most divisive times in my life. I guess since Vietnam, but I was just a kid. I don't remember too much about Vietnam. But because of the differences that exist in the country, the president made it really, really difficult for us to honor that institution. And our differences, I think, in terms of our team and our organization's values are so dramatically different. I'm talking in terms of inclusion and civil discourse and dignity. And it's hard for us every day. You know, we're seeing the things he's saying. I thought yesterday his comments about the NFL players was as bad as anything he has said to this point. So it's awful. You're talking about young men who are peacefully protesting police brutality and racism, racial inequality. Peacefully protesting, hallmarks of our country. Come on, this has been very difficult for us to have to reconcile, put it that way.
Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr explaining why the Warriors won't be visiting the White House for the traditional title celebrations. And we'll come back to Chinasia with this again. I mean, it's spreading. We'll talk the NFL, now it's the NBA.
You know,
I mean,
it was because of what he said in Alabama.
Right.
You know, and Curry reacted. Curry put out a tweet saying he's not sure if he would want to go to the White House,
right,
you know, after all these things.
And what does the president do?
And the president tweets and says, you know what? Your invitation has been revoked, and it was very like a child for me.
It was a bit childish.
Yeah,
LeBron James waded into it.
And LeBron James actually called him a bum,
right,
saying that you know, it used to be cool to go to the White House until you showed up and everything. And you see, for you to understand
is it invitation turned down or invitation withdrawn? Because it looks to me like somebody turned it down.
It's invitation turned down. We know it's invitation because Curry was not going to go, and the Golden State Warriors team were not going to go, because they were actually still talking about it,
right,
and they were leaning on side. Kevin Durant had said it right from the onset that he wasn't going to go. You know, imagine the MLB champions, the Chicago Cubs, when they won their title, the World Series. Obama had just days left, and they quickly went to see him. Yeah, just to make sure that he was the one. Yeah, of course, they later went to see Trump, some of them, but it wasn't the way Obama was the official president they went to see after they won their World Series title. So it's really sad what's happening now. Like Steve Kerr said, it's not ordinary times.
All right.